There's a problem, and you need to act quickly. Here you are, strolling casually without a care in the world on your way to school. As you approach the train station, where you usually grab a ride, all seems well. That is, until you see a shocking and unbelievable sight. In the distance, 5 strangers are tied against the train tracks, screaming and crying for help. As you look behind you, you see a train approaching at top speeds. It's on track to brutally kill all 5 people. That is, unless you do something drastic. Looking to the side, you see a lever on the ground. If you were to pull it, the train tracks would divert, swapping the train to another track. Thank God, you proclaim, reaching for the lever and preparing to put your bountiful muscles to good use. That is, when you see, on the other side of the track, one more person tied down, shrieking in desperation. If you do nothing, the 5 people will die, but if you pull the lever, the 1 person will. Their lives are officially in your hands. What do you do?
This ethical dilemma was invented in 1967 by Philippa Foot. It was designed to test people's moral decision-making skills, how well they can assess what's the right or wrong thing to do. A study by Michigan State University found that around 90% of people would pull the lever, a vast majority. It seems that most people believe this is a common sense question. Either 5 people die, or 1.
Well, obviously the dilemma is clear. How do you kill all 6 people? So I would dangle a sharp blade out the window to slice the neck of the guy on the other track as we smush our 5 main guys.
Or 6, if you take this technique. However, a 2009 study conducted by David Chalmers and David Bourget showed that only 68% of professional philosophers would pull the lever. What causes this discrepancy in answers? It seems there might be more to this question than first appears.
You should obviously pull the lever. This problem can easily be answered by a philosophical theory called utilitarianism. This theory claims that the morally correct action is the one that brings the greatest amount of good and the least amount of bad into the world. In this context, killing 1 to save 5 is justified because you are saving the largest number of lives and therefore creating the largest amount of good. Utilitarianism also commands us to act in a way most beneficial to our community. We are morally required to do what is right. Although some think not pulling the lever is acceptable because they're not actively harming anyone, utilitarianism disagrees. It says that the blood is still on your hands whether or not you pull the lever, so you must act to create the best outcome possible. Therefore, we know that you must pull the lever since it's the moral choice and saves the largest number of lives. Utilitarianism sounds good on the surface, but makes no sense in practice. Take this for example. One common iteration of the trolley problem doesn't involve a trolley at all. Imagine you're a doctor, with 5 patients all in critical condition. One needs a liver, another a kidney, a spleen, a heart, and a lung. There are no organs available for transplant, but if they don't get these organs, they will die by tomorrow. However, there's a guy taking a nap on your couch with all the organs necessary. You just have to harvest. This situation is essentially the same as the original trolley problem. You're killing 1 to save 5. However, it's obviously immoral and unacceptable to cut open a random civilian for his organs. This leads into a major flaw of utilitarianism. If you're just doing what's right for the largest number of people without retaining any values, you can justify any number of unjust actions, such as murder. Murder is never okay, and therefore you should not pull the lever.
Hi, so I'm really sorry about this, but I was at the train station and there were these 5 people tied down and this 1, and for moral reasons, I had to watch your entire family get run over. So, yeah, that's my bad. But, sorry.
We are part of a community, and you have obligations to help wherever you can. Inaction is a form of action, and the decision is as simple as killing 1 or killing 5. It's easy to feel morally superior when you're too bound to your own values to do the dirty work and actually help people, but that doesn't unkill the 5 victims and unhurt their families. The 5 people your conscience tells you to let die, which, let's be real, means kill, have families, jobs, and dogs that will be sad when they don't come home. You will either see 5 deaths or 1. Pulling the lever is the right thing to do, since you'll see a net 4 lives saved and the best consequences for all involved. Immanuel Kant, one of the most well-known philosophers in all of history, once commanded us to live our lives as though our every act were to become a universal law. A world in which we have the right to choose who lives and dies can never be moral. Not doing anything is as simple as not doing anything. By not pulling the lever, I haven't actively harmed anyone. There are so many issues in the world: global warming, economic inequality, sweatshops, and so much more. And I personally have done very little to stop any of these. Does that make them my fault? No. They're the fault of the people who are pumping oil and hoarding wealth and underpaying their workers. The trolley problem is the exact same. Whoever tied the 5 people to the rails is at fault, not me. I can't pull the lever because it is murder, and murder is never justifiable.
Albert Camus, an Algerian-born writer and philosopher, once said that a man without ethics is a wild beast loosed upon this world, and the trolley problem is an excellent example of where simplistic ethical laws and what we'd understand as ethical in practice diverge. For example, what if the one person on the other side of the train tracks was, instead of a stranger, your best friend? Would you kill 5 strangers to save your best mate? What if it was your mother, or the Prime Minister, or Shakespeare, or Santa Claus, or 5 kids stacked up in one trench coat? Would that affect your decision? That said, these situations seem very disconnected from the real world. After all, how many times have you seen 5 chihuahuas and 1 Santa Claus on a train track? However, this problem is surprisingly relevant to our real lives. The trolley problem exemplifies the difficulties that come with having free will. This problem, although not directly, comes up all the time in our lives. When you lend a book to a friend, or choose who to invite to a party, or buy a Dior belt, these actions all have impacts on other people, big or small. Companies like Tesla have to navigate these murky waters all the time. You can even check out MIT's morality machine to see some of the decisions they have to make daily. Being an ethical person is subjective, and whether pulling the lever and killing 1 to save 5 is the correct move is completely up to opinion. This may appear as a simple equation, but can have far more nuance and layers than one thought.